obviously we're both travel vloggers. To be honest, I've never really had like a deep chat with another travel vlogger before, so I guess it'll be cool to just like share some of our experiences and discuss like any similarities that we have in our experiences, any differences. So obviously I'm a TikToker. I do like short form videos, maybe kind of some of them a bit funny. It's a lot about like my interactions with the people that I meet and just about my own experiences, the food I eat, whatever. Obviously you're maybe doing a bit more interviews, a bit longer, more detailed, like documentaries and stuff. As far as I'm aware, you've been doing it for what, is it 3 years? Yeah. Yes. So I've been doing TikTok for 2 years, so I guess kind of similar. Okay. Do you want to maybe share like some of the things you feel like you've learned along the way?
In pertaining to YouTube itself?
Yeah, like being a content creator.
Yeah, you know, at first, my first video with a camera, I went out there thinking I'm only going to film what I want. I don't care about the audience. I just want to remember this moment for myself. And then I realized nobody cares and nobody wants to watch that type of content.
So like what kind of moments was that?
There was a lot less talking, I'll put it that way. It was a lot more like scenic and like, oh, that's a beautiful mountain and these flowers are that kind of stuff. And it didn't really work well. And
then how did you like fall into doing so many interviews? Like how did you discover that that's what the people want? Yeah, well, I always liked talking to strangers. That's always been my thing. I think I just took time and courage in order to hold the camera up. It's so embarrassing, right? Yeah, it doesn't happen. It takes so much courage. It's just not natural. Like people think like, oh, you're just a vlogger, you're so lucky. Like it's like so easy. And it's like, there's so many things. Like it's so embarrassing holding up the thing. The first year or two. Yeah. You know, my camera, I don't know if you felt this, like I used to hold it down lower and wait. Yeah. Every time. So nobody's looking, right? But then they see like up my nose and like this really ugly view. Yeah. So I can tell the confidence of a content creator based on if it's past the midpoint, they're more experienced. If it's down low, they're scared. They're scared that people are going to notice they're holding a camera. Yeah, 100%. And how do you? So like everyone tells me, oh, you should do YouTube, but I say no, basically. Or I have a channel, but I like never really do it. And it's kind of because I tried a few times, like I bought a GoPro when I was younger, whatever. And I always felt like, because I used to always travel a lot before trying to take any pictures or videos really. And I always used to have like a lot of authentic experiences that I always thought it would be great if they were documented because this conversation's so interesting, like this neighborhood I'm in is so interesting, these people have some stories, but I never used to document it. And then when I would start to try, I would just kind of feel like I couldn't really have the same experience anymore because there was this like selfie stick there. And it's still something I try to like balance out now. Like sometimes I might you know, meet a really interesting person and we'll be chatting and in my head I'm like, I really want to stop them and be like, can I record this? But I'm like, I don't want to stop them because this conversation, how it's going right now is so genuine and like so like intimate in a way that this person's telling me. So for me, I don't stop them. My camera is always in my hand and I hit record no matter, I don't ask. You don't? I don't say, oh, can I talk to you about this? It's visible, the camera is there and it's on. Do you feel like because the camera's visible, the consent is it doesn't need to be stated truthfully, because I don't need consent, right? I'm out in public. Yeah. And if someone's talking and they see a camera there and they don't stop and run away, then that's consent, like. Right. Now, on a rare occasion, somebody might say, I don't want to be on camera. So obviously, I'm respectful. I'm not just putting my camera in their face. So is it like, let's say you walk into, let's say you're now walking down like the avenue in Port of Spain and you want to go and talk to like a doubles vendor and you see one over there. So you're telling me you're going to be here, you're going to open up your thing now, and you're going to say, right guys, I'm going to go talk to this doubles vendor. And so as you're walking over, they can literally see it. It's literally in your hand. Yes. And as you go to them, oh, hey, like, how do you make the doubles or whatever, they either respond or they say, actually, I don't want to be on camera. I can't remember the last time somebody said, I don't want to be on camera. Really? I think if you go in with the opening question, that's like, there's no reason for them to be fearful. So I'm not asking them like, how much money do you have in the bank or like, do you owe your child support or anything like that, right? It's so, okay, maybe I should take a leaf out of your book then because like, you're a female. I think, I believe that you're going to have a higher batting average than I have. I'm just like, I'm so obsessed with like morals and consent, right? I don't know, I'm a very like... As am I. Yeah. So I mean, during conversation, if somebody says I don't want to be on camera, I'm done. But I think to me, like I feel scared to even like walk up to someone with a camera out. So I will wait, like I'll have this whole like insanely interesting conversation about how, because this is what I was going to say to you, is out of like, let's say percentage rise out of the people who are asked to be on camera for like simple things to like show me what they're cooking or whatever it is, I would say 25% say yes. The rest of them, my hair's not done, I'm camera shy, I don't want my, like somebody to see that I was out today. Right. No, that's crazy. I would say
99.9% is yes. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yes.
Because that's like a huge problem for me. Like sometimes I want to do like, let's say a street interview where I ask the same question to like, 50 people, and I'll be like out on the street like for half the day just to get like 6 people because they're all like, oh no, not today.
Oh, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And I wouldn't think that. Again, you being a female, I just think the world is more.
Because you're right,
kind.
I get it now. Because I give them too much time to think.
Yeah.
Because you don't.
I guarantee if I give them too much time, I would lose a lot.
My mind is blown that you're telling me like.
And I don't even take no as an answer for the first time. So if I walk up to you and I'm like, I ask you a question, you're like, oh, my makeup's not done. I'm like, you look perfect. Don't be stubborn. I'll be here 2 minutes. Give me your answer, and I'm gonna leave. So I often get it on the second try.
The opposite. I'm literally like, okay, sure, that's fine if you don't want to.
No.
Oh my God, that's so interesting. Okay, so should we maybe talk a bit more about Trinidad?
Yeah, for sure.
So I've been here 9 times. I first came in 2015 and it just like stole my heart.
Wow.
So I come back like so much.
Yeah.
Do you think you could relate? Like, can you see why that might happen to someone in Trinidad?
Well, for sure. This is my first time here. Unfortunately, I have certain circumstances that are negative in a certain sense and very positive in a certain sense. I've become, there's no doubt I'm in love with the country and the people, and I hope throughout my issues, my charges, that I'm able to return without issue in the future.
See, that was going to be a question. Yeah.
So I've asked it. Look, I'm confident I'm innocent of any charges, so there's no reason I would not be allowed back. Yeah.
So would you say, I read on your bio you've been to like more than 100 countries.
Yes.
So would you say like Trinidad's up there in like top 10 kind of vibes?
Of course. Well, people, like in regards to people, probably number one. You know what, like it's
I'm
amazing.
Not even from here and I feel emotional.
Let me tell you something.
So
I cried yesterday for the first time. I'm not emotional. I was just in jail for a week, right?
Yeah.
I don't get emotional about it.
Yeah.
But yesterday I was walking down the avenue and I was doing a simple interview with a news crew.
Yeah.
And some school-age kids, high school.
Yeah.
They were girls and they were like shouting behind the camera and they were crying. They were like, Chris, we love you, we support you. I'm like, man, I'm a stranger to this country.
God.
And it's not just them. If you walk down the street with me for 10 minutes, cars are honking and
do you know, if me and you walk down the street together, it'll be crazy because like I get people shouting stuff at me too. That'll be funny.
It's amazing. As an outsider to be treated with such support, how could I not feel great about this country?
And like, do you think when you're out in public and you see like Trinis interacting with each other, do you kind of find that they're also very friendly like towards each other as well, or do you feel like it's to you specifically?
No, when I first got here, nobody knew who I was, and they were treating me the same way. Everybody was overwhelmingly friendly.
Yeah.
If you're an introvert, Trinidad might not be for you, because people want to come up and talk.
I think like the Caribbean in general.
Yeah, well, we're visibly a minority here. You can tell we're not from Trinidad, right? So I find that as a tourist, people also they're welcoming to the country. They love their country. They want people to come here. So they're
quite patriotic, like in Trinidad, I would say.
Very,
so like they want to show off their country, right?
Yes, as they should be. Yes.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And like, can you maybe speak about some of the things in the culture that you've come to love, whether it's any types of like food or music or anything?
Everything.
Absolutely give everything. Us some.
Well, Trinidad music I never heard of before I got here. And now that's what I'm listening to when I'm getting ready. That's the music I'm listening to. I've eaten so many foods here for the first time in my life.
Yeah.
I love spice, and spice is on everything. So the food is incredible. The culture. I got to see Burro Day. So
you heard about it. Imagine I've never been.
Yeah. So, I've been here just over a month. And
I think, only a month?
Yeah. A month is, for me, for a first time in a country, a month is suffice to really dig in deep and learn a little bit about the country. So, no, I love it. There's no question I'll be back. No question.
And I haven't really seen like loads of your content. I've just seen like little bits, a few from some other countries, but like not loads. So I can't really comment on like what content you've done in other countries. But like, would you say that in Trinidad the plan was to do so much like underprivileged neighborhood stuff, or did that just happen?
Not in particular. It just
happened that way because you did one and then it led to another type thing, or because you did one and people were interested, or?
No, well, YouTube's a saturated market, very saturated. I came in late, and I'm older. I'm 46.
Yeah.
I'm different than the younger generation of travelers. When I came into this YouTube, I wrote down on the paper like what's going to make me different than the 1,000 other YouTubers with a camera. And one of the pinpoints in which I circled is like, I have no fear
Yeah.
So, and I'm not saying I don't have no fear. I'm scared of heights, but I have no fear of people.
Yeah.
So
that's like me. People always
I
tell me,
go
oh, you're
in.
fearless. I'm like, I'm not. I'm literally scared of roller coasters.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just not scared of people.
Right. So people don't scare me. So like,
Yeah.
I love that I can go into neighborhoods where the average person wouldn't go, and there could be guns. But I never go into a neighborhood like, show me your guns.
Yeah.
Never. I just want to document what would happen if I wasn't there. Like, show me what happens on an everyday basis.
Yeah.
Pretend I'm not here with a camera, and let me just understand a little bit about your life. Is
Yeah.
it difficult? What's difficult? How does school work? Where do you get your food? I'm just trying to get as much information as possible. Now, as to why I go to many different neighborhoods.
Are you asking about Trinidad specifically, or like
yeah, in Trinidad.
Okay.
I want to be the best, and I want to be the most detailed. You know, there have been a few other YouTubers that come and maybe shoot 5 videos.
Yeah.
So I want to shoot 50.
Right.
And the type of content I do, if I go to one neighborhood and not the other, it's disrespectful to the other.
Right.
Because they're like, why didn't you come to my neighborhood?
Mm-hmm.
So my plan was always to go to the 10 biggest neighborhoods.
Oh,
so
okay.
I can really, it's almost like an encyclopedia of information, because people want to know. They won't go into these neighborhoods, even locals. So I'm just trying to do a very diversified portfolio of content while I'm here.
Yeah. I need a little pause.
Yeah, no problem.
to think where we're going next. I don't know what's happening. Like, he always asks the questions on this podcast.
You have questions?
How many minutes have we done?
Or I can ask questions. I can come up with questions.
Like you start a topic and or like carry on, you ask me something and we'll bounce off each other.
Okay, so tell me, what's the number one reason why you keep coming back to Trinidad?
That's a great question. Like, some people are like, oh, she just comes back because she gets the views on her TikTok. But it's like, I was coming since 2015 and I've been doing TikTok for only 2 years. So make it make sense. I feel like now, honestly, I just have more friends here than I do in my own country. But I've been traveling. Do you travel like full time, basically?
Basically.
Yeah, so I do too, since like 2 years ago. So I don't know if you can relate to where your friendships back home maybe don't die out, but like they're not as close.
Yeah.
And so to me, honestly, I've spent more time in Trinidad in the past 2 years than I have in England. And I truly believe that like I have more strong friendships in this country than I do in England. And so obviously like I want to see my friends. And I feel like Trinidad's a country where there are so many like events happening. Like, you went to Bar Day, there's carnival, there's concerts all the time. And I've loved soca since I got into soca in London when I was like 20, right? I'm 31 now. So like soca has been a huge part of my life even before I ever came here. Right. So like for me to be able to go to like, you know, concerts of the artists that in England I'm gonna have to like pay £40 and those artists are barely ever gonna come. Like, here I can just come on one trip and I get to see so many artists performing that I would never have dreamed of seeing them all in England. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
But yeah, so sorry. So as I was saying, because there's like so many events all throughout the year, I'm always missing out on something. So every time I leave, my friends are like, oh, but you're missing this, you're missing this, you're missing this. And it's like, oh, okay, I just need to come back for this. I need to come back for carnival. I need to come back for this concert. Like, because the more friends you make and the more you just feel like it's your second home, like, you can't help but, it's like a second home. It's really become like a second home. And I just love, the music. I love how, because it's quite a small island, I feel like you can do so many fun things in like a short space of time. So we could drive to Maracas right now and be there in like, you know, less than an hour, watch sunset at the beach. And then tonight my friend could come from halfway down the country and take me to karaoke. And then in the morning I could go to my friend's farm in like the north.
So much to do.
Like, because in England it's like, if I want to see a friend who lives just at the other end of London, I have to like pay £15 for a train ticket, make sure they finish work, because, you know, in England working hours are like so long, everyone's in these serious 9-to-5 jobs. Then we've got to pay so much money to go to this event, book the ticket online in advance, there's no parking, so you have to, like, you know, everything's just a stress to like socialise in the Western world, in my opinion. But here I feel like I get to just do like so many things in a short space of time, which I really enjoy. And I love doubles.
I love hot doubles. When I was in a jail cell, somebody brought me doubles, and it took an hour or two to get it to me. It was cold. It was horrible. Aww. So doubles when they're hot, love doubles. But you touch upon something in the, I don't know if you remember, in the very first sentence of your reply that I would love to touch upon more. To me, the biggest insult in the world is, you just do this for views.
Oh.
So how does that make you feel? If your hard work and a non-creator comes in and says you're only doing this for
honestly, views. So what hurts me more, I don't mind too much if they think it's not hard work. I mind. Yes. But what I do mind about is that, like, I truly fell in love with Trinidad in 2015 to the point where, like, I made a speech and I cried when I left. And, like,
I used to, when it was COVID, like I missed Trinidad so bad. Like I really love Trinidad like so much. And when people are like, oh, you just come here like for your TikTok, it's like, if only you knew how, like, in England, anybody I meet since 2015 who asked me about, oh, where do you like to travel, or tell me about what we did in the summer, or do you know what I mean? I would tell them that the best experience of my life was when I spent 3 months. I did like a volunteer thing, do you know, where you can like volunteer at a farm in exchange for accommodation and food. That's what I did the first time I came. And it was like seriously one of the best 3 months of my life. And I've spoken about that experience to like people all over the world. I've spoken about doubles, about soca, about carnival, to people all over the world. Like I literally love Trinidad so much, so I just feel like so sad if like throughout my content, which I feel like so many people, I mean, they say it to me, can see that I have like a deep love for like the culture and stuff, that I always want to like learn more about it and delve deeper into. Like recently I started to learn how to walk on stilts. Do you know they have like because like I want to do that. Like the culture like means something to me, and it's like, how can you watch my content, or maybe you're not watching it, but like if you are, like how can you possibly watch my content and think that I'm coming here for views when like I would do anything
there's so much more to it,
like I just love
everything. I can see it.
like,
I can feel it.
I don't know, like
you're radiating some
like I even like the first time I came
energy
here, like when I stayed at the farm, I was like told my mum, like, mommy, like you have to come to this farm. Like my mum, I mean, I guess we've traveled together a few times, but it's not common for my mum to travel with me. Like I'm a solo traveler, but I was like, mommy, like I need you to come and spend time at this farm, because I need you to come to Trinidad, because it's just the most amazing thing. And my mum literally came and I brought her to the farm, and she stayed at the farm, and like she plans to go back again. This was in like 2016 that she came, and she hasn't been back yet, but she plans to, because she fell in love with it too. And it's like, imagine me, out of all the countries I've ever been, the only one that I've said, mommy, you have to come here, was Trinidad. Like that means a lot, right?
Yes,
like
for sure.
So it's like, come on guys, I love Trinidad.
I think you've proven yourself in your love.
But yeah, but in terms of like the hard work, it's funny, isn't it? Like, I don't know, would you say you get a lot of comments about that too, being like, oh, nice life it must be,
Yes, I do get that quite often. Again, it's always from non-creators. First and foremost, the negative comments don't affect me in the slightest. No effect on me at all. But for people not to realize how much work is put into even a simple video or clip or any of the above.
And like, what would you say, okay, quickly, like, can you quickly summarize what was your life like before you made this change?
Working entrepreneur my whole life, sitting in an office for the last 15 years. Web development was the business. Still traveling. I've been traveling.
As in, you would like just go on holiday sometimes, or you'd like travel for long periods often?
No, not long periods, but I mean,
you go away often.
My mission for the last 20 years is to see every country in the world.
Okay,
So in order to do that, I need to do 20, 25 countries a year. So
okay.
It wasn't like once in a while vacation. It was once a month vacation.
Okay.
See 5 new countries, come home.
Okay.
Then COVID hit and a midlife crisis in one. You know, I hit 40 years old, 42. I'm like, man, my goal, I'm at 128 countries. Even though it seems like a lot, I'm still quite far from my goal.
Yeah, people always say, well, you must have seen like almost the whole world right now. I'm like, I've been to like 50 countries. Come on, it's really not that much compared to all of them. But yeah, so what I was going to say is, so this like new lifestyle that you now have of basically full-time travel and like content creation, what would you say, if you give me like 1, 2, 3 of like the kind of hardest things? Because every choice that we make,
So what I travel 30 days on, 30 days off.
Oh, okay.
Approximately. Now I've been here 6 or 7 weeks due to my current issues. But the hardest part for me by far, the only hard part for me is being away from the family. There's no other negative to me. I like hard work.
Okay.
So that doesn't, it's not a negative.
Like, do you ever have like a day off?
Not really, no. And so the way I work is research, go film the content, edit, upload, promote the content, same day. So if I'm recording this video, tomorrow morning at 10, it's live.
Okay.
And this video sometimes means I'm walking for 8 hours or 10 hours through the hills.
So it's like when you get home, you'll do the editing.
Right. There's no sleep. I'm up all night working.
Okay. So, like, would there ever be a day that you don't film?
No, not really. No.
Okay.
There's occasions where rain might be
or you
too
get
heavy,
or
but I mean.
But then when you go home for the 30 days, is that like a bit more restful or?
Not really. I'm still filming in my city.
Okay.
Not to the extent that I am here. I need a little mental break.
Yeah.
But I'm still filming quite a bit.
Okay.
And I'm also then working on like shorts. And then instead of YouTube, I might put some effort into TikTok or Instagram. So, I mean, it's not like I go home and just sleep.
Yeah. Okay. But you don't ever feel like burnout or?
You know what? I'm just on a mission. I'm on a mission to hit
So
a
it like
million.
stays
It's obsessed,
motivating you.
hyper obsessed.
Yeah.
So it doesn't. Yes, it's work. Yes, there's no sleep, but I'm
Yeah.
on a.
To see all the countries in the world.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And so the point of the YouTube is mostly to like facilitate that happening, or is it
No,
that
to share my
to leave a
most
legacy, like even after
Yeah.
you're not here anymore, or like
That
to?
sounds very narcissistic, but the answer is yes.
No, but like I feel I
Yeah.
want my TikTok to stay when I'm dead. Sorry.
For sure. Yeah. You know, to encourage other people to travel and don't be
Yeah.
afraid to talk to strangers. And
Yeah.
a lot of people leave comments. They're like, Chris, you're encouraging me to travel outside of my normal,
Yeah, me
go
too.
to Disney World. Let's try something new, right?
Yeah.
So it's very encouraging. I have a few people that are dying, you know, final stages of life. And they're like, I always wanted to go there. Now I get to experience it through you.
Yeah.
So I do very little editing because I want you to feel, there's times in my video where if my camera goes down, I leave it in there.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I want you to see what the ground looks like. Or my shoes that day. I want to make it as natural as humanly possible.
Okay. And has there ever been, I'm sure you've probably been asked this question a million times, like any kind of like problem that maybe you filmed somebody and they said something that actually they realised afterwards, oh, I don't want that on camera, and then you,
not too
like any
often.
kind of...
But it happened here because I'm in dangerous areas, what they call hot areas here. And not everyone that lives in a gang area is a gang member.
Yeah.
But there's definitely a stigma here, like a guilty by location.
Yeah.
So there were some people that talked to me on camera with gang members, and they're not in the gang, so afterwards they call me crying like, Chris, people think I'm in the gang, I'm going to lose my job, I'm going to lose my family, please can you delete that part of the video.
So what happened then?
So I deleted that part of the video.
But it had been uploaded yet or not yet?
Yes. So with
like...
YouTube, you can go through and delete. You can't re-add sections, but you can go through and delete without
That's cool.
taking it down.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. But no one's ever like come and like tried to fight you because of it?
No,
or
I'd beat them up, so no one's going to fight me. I'm a ninja. Ask CJ.
Wait, so you can fight like real good?
Yeah. In my previous life, when I was half of my size, I was a professional fighter.
Really?
So I'm very comfortable, yes.
What, like karate or something?
Wrestling.
Really?
Olympic style, Greco style wrestling. So I was a wrestler for 15 years of my life, so at a high level. Again, when I was half of my weight. But that doesn't matter. Now I can throw around my weight. And I don't like fighting, but I think it gives me the confidence to go wherever I got to go.
Okay. And can you tell us like what your life was like growing up maybe as like a teenager and things like that? Like, yeah.
Travel's been my thing my whole life.
So did your parents like travel?
No, and they still don't like traveling. But it's always been me. Like I moved out of my house, I'd say by the time I was 15 or 16, I had my own apartment. I finished high school, worked a side job. I would always be saving up money for trips. So like from 18, 19, 20, I was traveling the world even back then.
Was the place where you grew up like quite diverse? Were you able to see different cultures like where you grew up?
I was the only white kid in my neighborhood by far.
Okay.
And the school and growing up.
So as in it was a black neighborhood?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, Toronto's very diversified, so it's not just black, but...
The majority?
Yeah, majority. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think that allows me to, you know, like before my wife is from the Philippines.
Oh, okay.
She came to Canada when she was 1 year old. Before that, I had different races as girlfriend, long-term girlfriends. So I got to experience different cultures.
Yeah.
All my friends, if you saw a photograph of my birthday at 5 years old, I was the only white kid.
I've seen them on TikTok.
And if you saw my birthday party last October, I was the only white kid.
Yeah.
So I love that.
Cool. So for me personally, the reception that my TikTok gets in different countries varies like insanely.
Yes.
And I barely have, I think like 10% of my followers maybe are from like the UK, or even less, like 5%. So most of my followers come from the countries that I'm in.
Yes.
But it's just really interesting that in some countries I'm in, from the first day, like local people want to see what I'm doing and they're really intrigued about what's this random white girl with a backpack doing, getting on their buses and doing whatever. But then some countries, they just like don't notice me, and it's just the same Trinis commenting on my videos in Colombia, for example.
Yes,
so
yes.
It seems like kind of random. I mean, sometimes it seems like it's the language barrier because, for example, when I was in Vietnam, I mean, clearly they're not going to understand.
Right.
Well, some of them might speak English, but you get what I mean. They're not going to understand what I'm saying. So then I mean, do you find that? Is there like a huge difference?
Yeah, for sure. Well, my audience is like far majority USA.
Oh, okay.
So if I am in Vietnam, they're probably not watching me from Vietnam, but I probably have Vietnamese people watching from the USA.
Right, okay.
Because they're multilingual.
And in terms of, like, obviously here you became, like, famous.
Yeah.
Does that happen in many countries?
The Caribbean countries, yes.
Because they're smaller and so it's easy to become famous,
and the love and the support. They're
Yeah.
so, like Jamaica, I'm as popular in Jamaica.
Oh, I love Jamaica.
Or Belize is another city which every person knows my name.
Yeah.
If I walk by, and I've done that, I've walked by and looked through the windows and they're all watching my videos as I'm walking down the street. So I've had fun with it. I knocked on the door of one family. They're all sitting around watching my video and I just peered through.
Aww.
And they couldn't believe it, right? So
Yeah. But in terms of countries where obviously English isn't the first language,
yeah.
do you still become famous there or not
No,
so much?
not at the
because
same.
It's just not going to happen that way, is it?
Yeah, but I like even in Afghanistan, I was surprised every day in my hotel. I would come down, there'd be fans just want to take a picture, waiting downstairs
Really?
in the lobby. A country you normally wouldn't associate with that type of stuff. But social media has taken over the world.
Yeah.
Right. So,
And have many countries, had like media people wanting to ask you stuff?
well, I'm on the push. So, for example, when I go to a country, once I've shot a week of content, then my duty is to contact media.
Oh, I've never
like,
done
hey,
that.
I got a story, and that
Really?
sort of opens the gates to opportunity. Because
so
once again,
interesting.
research, right? Film, edit, publish, now promote. That last promotion part is not simply me organically allowing it to shoot up to the top. I need to promote.
Oh, that's so interesting. So like you choose a specific story from something you
Yeah.
film like that week and be like, hey, I want to tell you about like this
Yes.
place where they make underground
yes.
alcohol.
And it doesn't always win. So I have a media list that I put together in each country, and I'll blast it. I'll be like, if you don't know, there's a little paragraph about myself. Look, before my arrest, I was still on all the media here.
Yeah.
So it is not just pertaining to that, but by the time I was arrested here,
Yeah, obviously.
I already had a relationship with all of the major media. They already had my phone number, so there was.
God, I feel like I'm so not hardworking. I've literally never reached out to a media outlet in my life.
Yeah.
Like sometimes they invite me on radio because it passively happens.
Yes,
Or
yes.
they invite me for like newspaper because it
No
passively
doubt
happens.
it happens that way, but I find that you're going to be much more successful when you do
Oh, that's
the work. Yeah.
okay, well that's definitely something to think about. I had a question and I've forgotten it. I don't know, you go ahead, maybe you can
Yeah.
ask something.
How long are you going to be in Trinidad right now?
My flight's on the 29th, I'm going to St. Vincent for their carnival. What are you doing? Do you know?
well,
apart from
as of today,
answering some questions
this,
in a room.
This morning I had court, and I was given my passport back. So as of right now, I've been stuck in the country.
Yeah, I saw that.
But today they said I can pick up my passport and I'm able to travel. But my next court hearing is on Thursday. So I decided I might as well stay.
And it's in-person court or virtual court?
In person.
Okay,
It's
cool.
virtual, but I need to be in the country.
Oh, okay.
So it doesn't make sense for me to fly tomorrow home at night and then too much traveling back and
So you
forth.
would just stay till Thursday or long after?
No, I'm going to stay till Thursday, and hopefully my next hearing after that is months away, so I can leave. Hey, this is actually a benefit. They think that that this is bad for me, that I have to go back and forth. It's a reason for me to continue to return to this country.
Yeah, and get a new stamp.
Right. So like, it's the best of both worlds.
Yeah. Cool.
In the next, I don't know what day it is of the week right now. Let's say the next 20 days. Do you have anything pre-planned, or you sort of go with the flow?
So this is like a bit weird, but basically I ended up like featuring on like a local song the other day.
I heard the song. It's still
I
in my
was
mind.
gonna like beg you like
Yeah.
after this to like make a video with me to it.
Yeah.
Because I think we'll go like so viral.
Yeah,
Will
yeah.
you do it?
I'll try my best. I'm not much of a singer.
No, like we just have to dance.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I'll try I might have to drink a little punch first.
Yeah, anyway, so because that happened and it kind of like blew up a bit or whatever.
Yeah, but the song.
Yeah,
You wrote the song, or
yeah,
somebody
so
wrote it?
basically I like to interview, I love soca like I told you, so I like to interview soca artists, and now because a few more people know who I am, I'm kind of able to sometimes make that connection and like do those interviews. So yeah, the guy that's on the song with me, Aaron Duncan, he's a soca artist, and we randomly met like a few months ago, and I was like, oh please, can I interview you sometime?
Yeah.
And so he was like, yeah, and we went to the studio, and then as a joke, he was like, oh, let's make a song, like whatever, we were just joking, and then yeah, so I wrote my lines and he wrote his lines. It just happened.
Yeah,
And then,
it happened. It's pretty good.
so yeah, because of that now, we might like actually drop it like as on like Spotify and stuff. So
Yeah.
we have a few things to do with that.
Amazing.
And then I had like a music producer call me just now being like, we want you to feature on this other artist's track.
Yeah,
And like,
you're
I'm just like,
opening
what's
new
going
doors.
on? Because
Yeah.
like, I was only joking. I was
Yeah.
literally joking. So I don't know really. I'm not trying to make too many plans because I'm trying to see what happens with that. And like, I just try to not make too many plans because I don't know how it is with you, but like, someone might message me today being like, oh, tomorrow there's this event happening.
Yeah,
Do you want to
for
come?
sure.
So I want to like leave it open.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
Well, my name is Chris Must List. The list aspect is because I make a list when I go to a country, and it's up, down, and there's priorities as to which I want to film before I leave. But there's always an opportunity that last minute this happens, I chop it, move it around.
Yeah.
I really don't promise people which days. I want this to be fun.
Yeah.
I don't want to know what I'm doing next Thursday until
Yeah.
Wednesday.
And okay, so you mentioned coming back to Trinidad. Like, do you think you would have to, or would you decide to change anything about the approach that you would take to your content as a result of what happened, or you would just carry on
I'm innocent.
as usual?
There's
Yeah.
I've done nothing wrong, so
Yeah.
you can't predict these things.
Yeah.
And I'm hearing a lot of people say, "Wow, you could have uploaded the video after the fact." Well, if I've committed an offense, whether it be in the country or outside the country, the offense would have been committed.
Yeah, and also like, sorry, but uploading videos at the time, it does bring new opportunities,
Of course.
and so at the end of the day, like you're wasting a lot of that. And plus, imagine how hectic, like, because I do a daily vlog every day from when I wake up. It's like a 1-minute summary of my day every single day. And it's like, some people are like, oh, you should delay your daily vlogs by like a week because then people can see where you're staying. And I'm like, I can't imagine how much that would fry my brain to like have to delay everything a week.
Again, those people are non-content creators because they don't understand the process. And I agree with you 1,000,000%. If I was editing today's video in a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks,
like
I lost interest completely.
And sometimes it's really cool for someone to be like, oh, I see you're in my area, like we're having this sports day tomorrow, like, and I don't want to miss out on those.
I like this kind of conversations because we see eye to eye. Exactly. I don't want to be famous here when I leave. It defeats the purpose of me creating content. And I'm saying that for the same reason. Doors open. Like there's a reggae concert this weekend, a big reggae show.
Yeah.
So they want me to participate. Now, if I uploaded my content after the fact.
Wait, sorry, when you say participate?
Yeah, like be up on stage and talk to the 1,000 people and
So me and you are both turning performers.
You know, Shaba is here, Shaba Ranks. And,
but you're going on stage with Shaba Ranks?
Levy, yeah.
But what are you going to do? Just be like, yeah, guys.
I don't know. But they have this where they're giving me 3 minutes on stage with a microphone to, man, I think we can unite. My ultimate goal, although it's a very, I'm shooting high, is world peace. But if we can bring some unity in the world and maybe help 1 or 2 people along the way, I'm a happy man.
So are you going to try and think of something to say like along those lines on the stage?
For sure. Because Trinidad, the people here deserve more peace than they have. Crime should not be the first and foremost when you think about Trinidad.
Yeah, it's really sad sometimes, like, because it's such a, like Trinidadians are so happy in a way, and so it's almost like more sad because it's such a contrast, like, you know, because if you just walk along the street, like, it feels so happy because there's like music, there's like food everywhere, there's jokes everywhere, there's like happy kids. Do you know what I mean? Like, it feels so happy. So to me, it like strikes harder when you hear about like awful things, like, you know, the 12-year-old girl that got shot in the car. I think you even shared it to your story. Yesterday or whatever. It like almost hits like harder because you read it and you're like on this beautiful beach with like people kicking a football and dancing and having a good time. And you're like, how?
It's not right.
Like, how are these two things like coinciding?
Well, a lot of these people I meet with guns, people might not understand. I feel are genuinely good people.
Oh my God, there's no such thing as a bad person. There's literally no such thing as a bad person.
I won't say there's no.
For me,
there are some people. I'm into serial killers. Like, I watch documentaries, and some people are born evil. I believe that.
But it's like a sickness then.
Right. Well, we can call it whatever we want to call it.
But
the majority of people, I've never met a person that was born evil. Yeah. Like, from birth, you see them growing up, you're like, that's an evil kid.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like at one point something in their life starts to lack, and so they have to like try and make up for it in other ways.
But I mean, even with the gun, during conversation, they're likable people. I don't like what they do, but they're likable people. Yeah.
And they probably, like, you see like a lot of people label certain humans as animals or beasts.
Monsters is the word. I'm a monster.
Or like people will be like, oh yeah, good job that the police killed another one of these scum or whatever. And I'm just like, do you realise that the person is doing what they feel that they have to do in this stage of their life, but they're probably going home and taking care of their sick grandma, feeding their child, helping their daughter with her homework, and like, do you know what I mean? Like, doing loving things like in the same way that anyone else is.
Yes.
Like,
and I don't stand up for criminals. So I think most people have some other type of means but I've never walked a mile in their shoes. I don't know what they've gone through, and I don't know what those opportunities are.
Nobody comes out of their mum's stomach wanting to be a gunman.
Right.
We know that much.
Right.
So at one point something went
Something
wrong,
happened.
right?
Yes.
And yeah, like we haven't. It's like I feel like in life most people are just doing their best with what they see as their options at the time that they are currently in, and the place that they're currently in.
Unfortunately, the people that are looking at it with a negative eye, they've probably lived a fairly decent life and assume everybody had the options they had.
Yeah.
I did a podcast very recently about that. It's like, do you have a decision? Do you really have a choice?
Nah.
If my father was a gangster,
Literally.
my grandfather was a gangster, my brothers have been in jail,
Yeah.
I'm definitely more likely to follow that path.
Yeah.
Because this is my surroundings.
And also, one question that I find really interesting is like, at what point does it become your fault and not your parents' fault? Because I saw like, I think you were here when the 17-year-old boy got shot by the police a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And people were like, oh yeah, scum. And I'm like, okay, so he's 17 and you guys still think it's his fault. If he was 13, would it be his fault? If he was 7, would it be his fault? Is it that on your 16th birthday, everything becomes your fault? But when you were 15 and 3/4, it was never your fault? Do you get it? Like,
there's people that will always say it was your fault, no matter your age, your circumstance, right?
So people are going to go around calling a 6-year-old scum because he doesn't have any parents, and so he's not, like, what? Like,
Yeah,
so I just don't get it. Like,
not everyone's on the same.
At what point?
Right.
Not does it become your fault? Because to me, like, it can't. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I just find that. Yeah, crazy. But anyway, yeah. I was hoping to do like, well, a bit different from yours, but I have like one person that's agreed to do it so far. Because like I said, I ask people way too much. So I have one person that's agreed to do like somebody who's in that type of life to do like an interview with me, just like a sit down, but them with like a ski mask on, and just for me to more ask, not really about the activities that they do, but more about like their home life and like the nicer things that they do, and if they thought there was a point in their life that like led them to this and stuff like that. Because I really want to like just try and like humanize, humanize.
You'll get love and hate.
People a bit
no
more.
doubt.
Yeah.
People will love it. People will hate it.
Yeah.
People will say that you're doing this for views. People will say, why are you coming to my country to show this?
Yeah.
When there's the beaches and...
I mean, I've literally shown
doesn't matter.
a lot of beaches and waterfalls and a lot of double
There are always more areas that you could do. But I mean, shoot the kind of content that you're proud of. And then who cares what people think?
Yeah. I know, like, growing up, like, my dream used to be to do, like, documentaries. You know, like, do you know who Ross Kemp is?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, so I used to, like, want to be Ross Kemp. Like, Ross Kemp was, like, my idol.
They say I am Ross Kemp.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, you're giving Ross Kemp. But, so I used to basically want to be, like, a female Ross Kemp because I really liked how he was very like fair and like humanized everybody, but also spoke about the issues, but like humanized everybody, and that he would just talk to anyone.
I think he's brilliant.
Yeah.
He has a whole team behind him. When he travels to neighborhoods, he
Yeah.
could have 15 people with him. So there's like people.
Yeah, I mean, of course, if you're making like produced documentaries, it's going to be
Right.
like different.
But I mean, I think then you lose the authenticity. If I'm talking to you on camera
Yeah.
and it's just me and you,
Yeah.
versus if there's a camera crew surrounding
Yeah.
you, you're gonna feel
at
ease.
Yeah, of
You're gonna tell
course.
me more.
Yeah, but he still managed to get
No,
like.
I think he's brilliant.
I really rated. Like, I always wanted to do something like that.
There's no doubt to
like-
me, he's the most prevalent, like most popular person that's ever done this. He's opened doors to this world. So I greatly appreciate the content he created.
Yeah.
But now he's in trouble. I'm coming for you, Ross Kemp.
He's probably, isn't he a bit old now anyway?
I don't know.
Like,
I'm
I haven't really
old-
seen
I'm
him do
old
too
too,
much.
so-
No, but like I feel like Ross Kemp's like
I gotta
a
meet
lot
him. I need
to
that
me.
photo. I'm gonna find him.
Yeah, I would love to meet him too.
Ross Kemp, Christmas list in the jungles of Nicaragua. I said that right. That's one hard word to say.
Yeah.
So you're going for a street next for 5 minutes, my deal?
We're filming here.
Okay, so how many minutes? Okay, let me just ask one more thing. Have you got into any soca music since being here?
No, not in particular.
Aw.
I'm more the hip hop Trinidad type stuff.
Okay, so tell us your favorite Trinidad song since being
No,
here.
I can't do that. That could cause some real problems. you know the music here.
Yeah, it's
as you
very-
know, there's certain neighborhoods that you can listen to certain things. But I'll tell you that the Cayman music, I like it from an entertainment standpoint. I don't look at it as literal.
Yeah.
Plumpy Boss, both of them I met. I really enjoy their music. And there's a lot of talented people, storytellers.
Yeah.
They're telling the world what they see. But again, when I listen to a song, I'm listening to it for the upbeat tempo, and I'm not really pinpointing the lyrics.
Yeah, me too. Like, I definitely listen to a lot of songs that, like, from men, that, like, if a man said that to me in real life, I'd be like, you're so misogynistic. But in a song, I'll be like,
yeah, it sounds good.
Because it's just entertainment.
Right. So, but I do like the music.
Yeah.
And when I do go home, I'll definitely get into it deeper because I'd never heard of Trinidad music.
Yeah.
So that's
I wonder if
more
there's
my
anywhere in your hometown where, like, they play that.
Probably not.
Oh.
But we have Trinis in Toronto. We have a lot of
Yeah.
Trinis, but this is the first for me. But I'm into it. But I often find that when I went to Cambodia for the first time, I come home, I'm listening to Cambodian cultural music.
But then it's like
right?
you can't keep up with all of them. Like
No,
when I went to Haiti, have you been to Haiti?
Yes.
Did you listen to compa?
No.
Oh yeah, so I really like the Haitian music, but it's like you just can't keep up with all of these genres,
Yeah.
especially when we're busy just filming all
Well,
the time.
Trinidad,
There's
the
no
music,
time to...
I can understand the lyrics, which is much better for me.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I guess we can wrap up.
That's how we wrap up. And so there's like the climax just dropped. We got to do something more exciting.
Okay, what would you like us to do?
Let's wrap it up in a better way.
I don't know how. I've never...
I trust you. Use the TikTok powers from up above.
Okay.
And can I tell you that I think you should do long term because it's a different audience altogether. You know what? People that enjoy your very short form content are good. It's entertaining. But there's a percentage of those people that want to know more about you.
And they tell me, but...
You got to stop talking, CJ. I know it's hard for you. Let's do this.
Yeah, I know, and I'll tell you my hesitations.
Yes.
So I like to travel, like carry on only like small amount of stuff, right?
Yes.
And as little valuable stuff as possible because that bag is often sitting in this
no
bloody...
excuses. I have kids.
All I have,
No.
all I travel with is this is for
That's
everything.
all you need.
Yeah.
That's all you need. Why do you
But
need
then
more?
how? Because if I'm filming like us right now, if it's for TikTok, it has to be in this orientation, so I film like this. But for YouTube, it has to be like this. So then you want me to film this conversation twice?
Yes.
But then it won't be authentic.
I know YouTubers that do English and German. They'll go the whole thing, do the whole thing in English, walk backwards, do the whole thing in German because I have two different channels.
But then how will the content be authentic the second
you make
time?
it happen. Make it happen. You can't make excuses. And find a way. You know, there's something called in real life. Do you know what that is? IRL?
Not really.
Basically where they have a camera here, wherever, and it's just on.
Yeah. Oh, have you seen those glasses?
Yeah. But those glasses are not, I went to buy them. You can only record 15-second intervals. So for your TED stuff, but for me, 15 seconds is not enough. But here's what I would say. Here's my recommendation. Try it for 30 days.
30 days?
Well, you can't try it. It's like me going to the gym and trying it for 3 days and hoping for results. You try it for 30 days religiously, like you're putting effort into it, and see if you're happy with the outcome versus the effort, and that would help you.
That's the thing. I thought the effort would be like crazy amounts
the feedback
more.
for those. I saw this very recently where there was, let's say a year ago, somebody on TikTok had 15 million followers, and they had a meet and greet, and not one person showed up. I have a much smaller audience. Every country I go to, if people like me, I do a meet and greet, and I have 200-300 people from Kenya show up to meet me. So because it's the love, they get to know you more. Imagine we only had a conversation for 60 seconds versus you get to follow me every day for 60 minutes. You're going to know more about me than I'll ever know about you.
Yeah.
It's different content altogether.
Oh, God.
And it depends on what your goals are, right? If your goals are you're happy,
yeah, that's
then
the
don't
thing.
do
That's
anything.
the thing as well, because like I need to make more money because right now like I can't survive with it, and I'm using like a bit of savings from some past jobs, and like I'm trading stocks and shares, which is basically gambling, and like I'm just doing a collaboration where like a guest house will let me stay, and I'll make I'm just like getting by basically in terms of like money, and so I do need to like make more, and I know YouTube like pays more, but I'm quite happy with in terms of like happiness, like work-life balance with like what I'm doing now. I quite like it, and I feel like the YouTube would really change things in terms of the time like it would take, you know.
Yeah,
so I just feel like if I can just make my TikTok grow a bit more and just get enough money from it, then I'm kind of okay with it.
If you're okay with being okay, then be okay.
Yeah.
For me, I'm not okay with being okay. I need to excel.
Yeah, I don't need to be the best. I just want to have fun. Like, you know, even just like this
Don't ever say that. You don't have kids.
I don't want to have kids.
Ever teach your kids at home, parents at home, don't ever teach your kids that it's okay to be okay. They're never going to shoot for any kind of excellence. Can you imagine a world where everybody was okay with being okay? We wouldn't have many of the greatest inventions in the world and intelligence.
It's also like okay for not everything to be a competition. Do you know what I mean?
No, I don't know.
Oh
this
my
is
gosh,
the part
this is the one thing we don't
in
agree
the sand
on.
that we don't agree on. It's not
Well,
it's not like, guys, go play the game and it's sportsmanship. It doesn't
I'm
matter
like,
if
let's
you
just
win.
run around. Like, I don't mind.
I want to win. I want to win.
Okay, well, that's okay. I'm
Yes.
glad we found something that we disagree on because otherwise we'll just be like the
then
same
they're
person.
gonna think it. Yeah, I agree.
Okay, cool.
Conclusion. I got to put more effort into TikTok. I think I have 1,000.
Oh, are you gonna try? Are you gonna try and put more effort into TikTok?
When I get home, I'm gonna put more effort into TikTok, and hopefully you give me some tips while we're here. And in return, you've already co-signed that you're gonna put a greater attempt on YouTube for a little.
Or do you think it could even be like a once a week YouTube video?
Absolutely, once a week is better than none a week.
Yeah, like maybe I could like work with that.
Yeah, do a summary of your whole week.
Yeah, maybe.
I think so.
Yeah.
Well, leave a comment down below. Let us know what you think. This is going to be a YouTube video.
They more go on like reels on like he splits it into like short form.
Okay.
I think one episode does go on YouTube, but I only watch
the reels.
Short form. Yeah.
Sorry, she doesn't watch it.
Sorry, even the ones that I was on.
How do you normally conclude? Just that's it. Thank you.
Well, I don't know. Well, yeah, it was really cool chatting.
Yes,
and especially like I hope that our chat might bring me a bit more confidence with like, approaching people like with the camera and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks for that.
Yeah, you're welcome. Pleasure to meet you. And I feel that positive energy. So I like to be around people that exude that energy. So
that's cool.
Yeah, you're welcome to. This is my home, by the way. You're welcome to my home anytime. Now that you know.
You got a house in Trinidad before me.
Yeah. I met this guy and he gave me half right away. And I got a dog. You saw him earlier.
Okay.
So that was our conversation. Thanks for anybody watching this long. Thank you.